My BF and I loved running, but he started brushing off my offers to join. You wouldn't keep up, he'd say. I didn't think twice or question it. What he didn't know is that I didn't suspect a thing until he made the stupid mistake of syncing his workout app with mine. His routes weren't just random, they followed a weird pattern. Every single run passed by, paused near, or ended at a different address. They weren't locations of hotels or Airbnbs. They all paused or ended at specific residential addresses. Curiosity got the better of me, so I followed his latest route and found myself outside a coworker's house. A quick check of his call log revealed frequent late night calls to her. When I confronted him, he fumbled with excuses before admitting to the affair. Turns out, syncing apps exposed more than just his fitness habits. He's a photographer, and it's not unusual for him to travel for photo shoots. I took the SD card out of his camera one day to download some photos he had taken of our then 3-month-old daughter. I found photos and videos of him with other women that he was photographing. Yeah, I trusted him so completely that he got too lazy to hide it anymore. I never would have touched his camera before our daughter was born. I just wanted to print the photos I found out my ex was cheating on me when she was at home visiting her parents. She booked an Airbnb while she was away using my account, and I got an email confirming the booking. Obviously, I thought it was weird, so I asked her why she was booking a place to stay when she was with her parents. It turned out she just didn't want her mom to figure out she was cheating on me with some guy she met online. Obviously, it was all my fault for checking my emails. I am happily married now and glad to have gotten out of that horrible relationship. My fiance was driving us home from a party and using her phone to navigate. I went to pick it up and check the directions, and she freaked out, saying I couldn't just use her phone without permission and how that was an invasion of privacy. I wasn't sure what to make of that until she left herself logged into Facebook on my desktop a couple of weeks later, and I noticed messages from a guy I didn't recognize. If it hadn't been for the odd response in the car, I wouldn't have scrolled up through them and discovered that she'd been making plans to see him and lying to him about me mistreating her for months. I was completely devastated, but I screenshotted everything in case she decided to gaslight me about it later. When I asked her friend about it, she said my fiance had met the guy at a wedding they'd gone to in Vegas 6 months earlier, and that they'd hooked up there. The friend had thought it was a one-time thing, but wasn't surprised when I told her things had kept going. We'd been together 16 years, and I never saw it coming. He used my phone to cheat and then tried to ghost her by saying he had a surgery and then planning to never speak to her again. She called and asked for me because my name showed up on her caller ID when he called her. It went kind of like this. Hi, can I speak to Indifferent Guavas? This is she. Oh, I'm just looking for Mr. Indifferent Guavas. I am worried about him. Well, I'm his wife. Maybe you can tell me why you want to talk to him. His wife. She was hiding her phone, had changes in behavior, and kept getting defensive when I questioned her about it. I'm very trusting, but my gut screamed at me that something was wrong. I looked through her phone one day and found she had been sharing explicit images, some videos, with a colleague for at least 5 months. All texts were deleted, but the images, videos were in her WhatsApp sent folder, and the images, videos of him he sent her, were in the received folder. It was enough for me to file for divorce. I was leaning on the car of the last girl I dated while she was texting, making plans with her sister. She gave me a hug and a kiss, and we said, I love you, goodbye, etc. Her Bluetooth had connected when she started her car to roll down the windows and let the heat out. A call came in, and the name popped up on her stereo screen. It was the ex-boyfriend that she dated for 4 years, the ex-boyfriend that she needed protection from, The ex-boyfriend that made her have panic attacks if she saw him out in public. She canceled the call and didn't even comment on it. I knew then a lot of things I'd been told were nonsense, a very random chance. Turning to his monitor, he paused a stream he was watching and told me I was disturbing him. Never had that reaction before. A few seconds later, a Discord message from his BFF popped up. "Man, you're in a pickle," followed by, "You have to tell her." I pretended I saw nothing and turned away. I knew if I confronted him then and there, he would deny and delete everything. But I am a very trusting person, and I never snooped or asked questions, so that would give me a chance to read it at a later point. Over the course of the next few days, I read everything, including the convos with the chick. The affair was fairly recent, from the past month or so, but I found out he also took women to dinner on his fun trips out of the country 3 years ago. At that point, we were together for over 3 years. Best part? He was extremely jealous, to the point of screaming "cheater" if I took 10 minutes longer to get back home from work. She would always place her phone on tables faced down, and when she was using it near me, she would angle her phone out of sight whenever an Instagram notification popped up. So I decided to see why you know how WhatsApp chat bubbles open up on top of whatever app you're on? He sent me a screenshot of something funny between him and his friend. In the background was a text message about a date he was going on with this girl. While we were driving 16 hours to summer vacation, I saw him texting a lot on his phone while driving. When I asked who it was, he said it was about work. I saw kissing emojis on one of the texts and thought that was really weird. All day, I told myself I was crazy. He would never do anything like that. Later, in the hotel, I saw he was on Facebook Messenger. It was 1 a.m., so it was unusual and weird. He had guarded his phone all day, so I could never check it. But I remembered I was the one to set up his Facebook account, and I knew his password. I logged onto his account on my phone, saw the messages, and my life exploded. He was having an affair with a woman from work. They were saying, "I love you." Total devastation. Married 25 years, at that time, I was 6 weeks pregnant with our third, woke up one Saturday morning, and had texts from my best friend. Except it was her boyfriend using her phone to tell me my husband was having an affair with her, with gross screenshots to prove it. My kids all came rushing into the room with Dad to wake me up for breakfast, and my heart was completely shattered. My family was broken. I haven't been the same since, but I have moved forward, and we co-parent great now. My youngest is now 7. We were sharing locations on our phones, had been for years. And when he suddenly started being distant to me out of nowhere, I started looking where he was when I was at work. Every Friday night for a month, he was at an unknown, to me, house. My friend figured out who it was online. I found out because she had a second non-activated phone. She left it out on the couch in the living room one day when I was homesick. I was curious what she used it for, and when I pick it up, the phone screen came on, and it was tons of Facebook messages. It was from her coworker, and one message said something about how he was thinking about that kiss. I immediately felt knots in my stomach, and I was so unbelievably mad. We had just married a month or two before I saw the messages. It sent me on a rabbit hole of things that I missed for weeks. Her going out of business dinners, when that was never a thing in the past. She was really distant to me during the wedding and the honeymoon. While my trustworthy husband of 15 years was on a work trip, I noticed his heart rate spike to 140 at 2 p.m. Odd for someone supposedly in meetings. When I texted him, he claimed it was a slow day. What he didn't know is that his smartwatch synced with our shared fitness app, and I noticed his heart rate spiked to 140 at 2 p.m. on the day he was at a work conference. I checked the event schedule on LinkedIn and saw that 2 p.m. was the lunch break. Curious, I scrolled through Instagram and found a post from one of his female colleagues. She was in a hotel room, captioned, "Lunch break with great company?" In the reflection of the mirror, I saw my husband sitting on the bed. When he returned, I asked how the conference went. He claimed he ate alone, but when I showed him the Instagram post, he had no choice but to admit the truth. He'd been in her hotel room during the lunch break. Sometimes tech reveals more than people realize. I bought myself a new iPad for my birthday and went on my old one to move everything over. Noticed her Gmail was still logged in, and she had comments from a Reddit post she just made about trying to sleep with her coworker, who wasn't reciprocating.